and welcome to Inside Beauty episode 3 with Ivy Lane. Thank you for tuning in. Give me your time to listen. Today, I am going to go over one of my favourite topics when talking about natural beauty and skincare products, and that is the smoky mirrors, is what I call it, and that is the distraction techniques used by skincare manufacturers to distract you from looking too closely at what's in the products in order to establish whether or not it is a natural product or not. And so it's smoke and mirrors is the magician's tricks. And yes, it's distraction's a very powerful method to use when you're trying to get away with something you shouldn't be. So there's 3 main areas of smoke and mirrors that I'll be going through today. The first one's what I call the no list. The second one, I'm going to group this in here. We'll be covering it again probably later on, but that is the Goodwill charity distraction. And another one I've just decided to add in today, and that is the celebrity endorsement or authority figure endorsement. Yes, all these 3 techniques are used to distract you from having a close look at what's inside the skincare products. So first up, we'll address the no list. So the no list is very often used in even products aren't pretending to be natural, but just trying to sell any product. So as I've said earlier, because more and more people are becoming aware that there are ingredients that are harmful in our products, manufacturers and marketers are picking up on this trend, and so they want to give you the benefit of what's in their product. And so some of them might have made minor changes to their products. Say, for example, parabens. Now, there's quite a few people who are aware that parabens aren't the nicest things to put on your skin. SLS, the big long list, not the big long list, there's a few things on the front, and often people will put that, manufacturers will put that on the front of their products. They go, there's no this, there's no this, there's no this or this, the things that you might be aware you want to be trying to avoid. And therefore, you as a consumer will go, well, look, I know that's bad. I know that's bad for me. I'm glad this product doesn't have it. It must be good. It must be safe. Yeah. The problem with this is just because they're not using a few of these ingredients that they once may have been, doesn't mean to say that every ingredient in the product is safe. They're simply just going, well, we know this is what we need to put in to sell. We know that we need to take this out if we expect people to keep buying our products, so we're going to take it out and replace it with something. Now, sometimes the replacements aren't necessarily any better, and they're not reformulating the whole product. They're just replacing things that are, got a fashion or a fad, a knowledge about them being not good for you. So again, this is when we need to learn to read our labels. This is where you get your environmental working group cosmetic database up in front of you, and you look over and you look at the ingredients, the full ingredients list, to see what is in there. So again, like I said last week about companies using colours and amber bottles to portray a natural product. Just because people are having a no list doesn't mean to say that they are trying to distract you. Again, this is something I've been told by marketers, which I'm still toying with, whether or not I should be listing. It doesn't have any of this isn't there, or not. But there are companies out there who are doing the right things, and they'll still list that because it's helpful when trying to sell a product. So yes, smoke and mirrors, the no list. The next smoke and mirrors, and this isn't just skincare manufacturers that do this. This is used across the board in all industries, and that is the goodwill or the charity of an organisation to portray an image of good values. Now, there are a lot of companies out there who are doing great things and making changes in the world. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs who are driven by making a positive impact in the world. So we need to be careful here. But there are also massive multinational corporations who like to do all sorts of horrible things in the background whilst giving a front that they are doing great things in the world. And not to discount their charities, they probably are doing good, but it often is used to excuse them of poor behaviour elsewhere. And this is seen in skincare products. One brand in particular, again, I'm not naming names, who does positive work in the world, and that was why this company was even set up. However, that was the goal there, and they used that as a way to go, well, we are good, we're doing good, therefore our products must be good. And that's where you need to differentiate. Just because a company is doing good in the world, some good in the world, does not mean to say that their products are good. Now, for me personally, the way that I like to do good in the world is make sure I support small communities. Make sure I know that the people producing the raw ingredients that go into my products are paid appropriately. In work under conditions that are good, that they benefit directly. So majority of my ingredients come from small communities who directly benefit. It's what they do, it's their business. They're not. I try very hard to avoid as many middle people as possible. So I know that any ingredient I'm buying is actually supporting a worker who is being paid appropriately. So, for example, the shea butter that I use come from women's co-ops in Ghana. So these women have set this co-op up, and they hand press the shea butter traditionally, as they always have, but the money is going directly to them so they can support their families and, live better lives themselves. But like I said, there's other companies. So I think a really good example to think about is, say, the Ronald McDonald houses for children with cancer. Now, obviously, they are very valuable, and I don't want to discount the work they do. But multinational corporation like McDonald's, and like I said, there are others, they use this to distract. If they really wanted to do good in the world, they would look at other ways of bringing health to people, as well as supporting families in severe, tragic health crises. So yes, that's smoke and mirrors number 2, the charity goodwill distraction. Now, number 3, the celebrity endorsement or trusted person endorsement. Now, I've decided to add this today after unfortunately discovering the ingredients in a prominent functional medicine doctor who I greatly admire, mind you, who has a range of skin and beauty products, and upon investigation into the ingredients into this range, I'm horrified at the number and percentage of ingredients that would be harmful if applied to the skin and counter to functional medicine approach. So I think we need to be really careful. Just because someone we trust endorses a product does not mean to say that the product is good and safe. And this is why we need to be educated. We need to look after ourselves. We need to take responsibility for our own buying decisions. And if we want to do the right thing, if we want to use products that are safe, we can't trust anyone. and it's a sad place to be, but I think that there's always value in understanding and knowing, because when you do understand and you are able to read labels. You can't be tricked anymore. So just because there's a famous person saying, I use this product, this is safe, I endorse it, this is something that I would use in my family, doesn't mean to say that it is safe. So this is where, again, we get out our phones, or go onto the computer and open up the Environmental Working Group database and type in those ingredients and see for yourself. So that's, yes, the 3 smoke and mirrors: the no list, Goodwill charity distraction, and celebrity endorsement, trusted person distraction. 3 ways in which skincare manufacturers can distract you over here with the good they are doing, the things they're not including, with the people who believe in them, while they get away over here with poor practices and poor ingredients. And one other thing I'm going to say that I forgot to say last week when I was talking about packaging, and I mentioned plastic, and why I think it's really, really important not to use plastic when we're looking at skincare products. Apart from the obvious environmental damage of plastics, I think that can be overcome largely through better recycling programs. But for me, plastic leaches. I don't use plastic because it leaches into the product. And that's my main reason for not using plastics. Obviously, environmental issues as well. But the chemicals get leached into your product. So even if you've got a beautiful, natural, organic skincare product that does tick all the boxes with the ingredients, if it's been packaged in plastic, they're undoing a lot of the good, because it'll be leached with chemicals from the plastic. And here's another great smoke and mirrors: BPA-free plastic is actually worse for you than plastic with BPA. So that's another one that came about. They found out that the BPA had high levels of lead and it was really bad for you. So therefore, plastic manufacturers started taking it out and replacing it with something else. And this is something that doesn't seem to be talked about anywhere near enough, anywhere, with people who are looking for better options or safer options. And it disappoints me greatly that it's something that's just seemed to be pushed aside. BPA-free plastic is worse for you than plastic containing BPA. So another smoke and mirrors to be aware of. So we avoid plastics as much as we can with our products. Now, what I would like to see more of is, and something I do myself at a small scale, and I really want to get to doing for all my customers, is returning glass. I can get several uses out of the one jar. People who buy products from me and get to see me personally return their jars, and I'm able to wash them and reuse them, and it's a much more environmentally friendly way than even recycling the jar. Now, the recycling in Australia, anyway, I don't know about everywhere in the world, but recycling glass in Australia actually, all the glass gets mixed together, so it makes an inferior quality glass. So recycling your glass isn't as good as reusing it. So I would love and dream of the day when we are able to return our glass jars and bottles for reuse. I mean, I remember as a kid, my grandfather was collecting glass bottles for soft drink, and someone would come around and pick them up. And, if we could do it 30 years ago, how come we can't do it now? I do wonder sometimes how progress is considered progress when we go backwards. Hello, sweetness.
My helmet bit me here.
Did it?
The Titan did.
Is it better? Okay. You going for a ride?
I'm never going to ride a bike ever again.
Okay. All right then. Bye-bye. Yeah, so smoke and mirrors everywhere. And I think part of the value in doing this in regards to just, your skincare products, if skincare products, if you can become a savvy consumer in every area of your life, if you can master it in your skincare products, you can start applying the same skills in other products, and really there's power in that. You know, as consumers on our own, we might not be able to make a difference, but when there's enough of us demanding better environmental outcomes, demanding safer products, demanding safer ingredients, then demanding greater transparency, then there is change, you know, and I think the internet's a very powerful tool to progress that change much faster than it would have been going back, you know, when we only had TV and mainstream media to rely on. So thank you very much for listening again. It's been my pleasure to bring you information on smoke and mirrors. Next week we will be talking about some of the marketing speak. This is a much bigger topic. We're looking at the ways in the words in which marketers and skincare companies, beauty companies, the words they use to try to convince you that the products are safe and don't contain any nasties. So tune in for that one. Thank you.